Right now at 5, another death and more new cases. Tonight, we are learning more about the Hoosiers who died from COVID-19 and the new patients who are now under the care of doctors.
The travel restrictions in place to minimize the spread of the coronavirus. I'm Stephanie Wade, asking the city and the state how those are being enforced tonight.
I mean, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. I mean, 8 weeks down the road, I don't know that people are going to want to pay me if this, if this lasts this long.
Daycare owners are concerned about having to close their doors. What the state is now saying.
And the Indianapolis Colts have a new quarterback, spending a huge chunk of money in hopes of finding success in the 2020 season.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
And now at 5, more somber news today in the spread of COVID-19 in the state of Indiana, our second death. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Here is what we know about the spread of the virus locally, nationally, and globally. The second death in Indiana is a 91-year-old Johnson County woman who passed away at St. Francis Hospital South. We now have had one death each in Johnson and Marion counties, both women. The State Department of Health reported 6 new positive cases of coronavirus today, bringing the number to 30. The new cases are 2 each in Franklin, Lake, and Marion counties.
In the U.S., there are more than 5,700 confirmed cases and at least 95 deaths, more than 195,000 cases worldwide, more than 7,800 deaths. But it is also important to note nearly 81,000 people have recovered.
The first person to die from coronavirus in Indiana was a woman in Marion County. She passed away yesterday. Friends and family tell us she was well loved by those who knew her, especially those in Carroll County. RTV6's Rafael Sanchez reports on the life of Roberta Shelton.
Roberta Shelton loved to give of her time and treasures. The coronavirus is blamed for her death. In life, Roberta advocated for the families of Abby Williams and Libby German, the Delphi girls killed in 2017. Roberta hosted a concert and other awareness efforts to support the families and find the killer. Via FaceTime, Libby's grandmother expressed her condolences and her appreciation for Roberta.
She was wonderful. She was a huge advocate for Abby and Libby. She helped keep the story out there. But not just for Abby and Libby. She was an advocate for anybody that needed it.
On a personal note, I interviewed Roberta Shelton for a number of stories. I always found her to be vibrant, compassionate, caring, someone who loved music. But her main mission was to help others any way she could.
She made this world a little bit better with the things that she did.
So Roberta is being remembered for being action-oriented and forgiving because it was the right thing to do. In Indianapolis, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
And today, travel and business restrictions went into place in the city of Indianapolis. RTV6's Stephanie Wade talks with restaurants adjusting to the new normal and is asking the city and state how those are being enforced tonight.
Walking down the street here, you can see there are very few cars parked along Massachusetts Avenue in downtown Indianapolis. Very little foot traffic when often this part of town is crawling with people, showing people are abiding by the travel restrictions tonight. Mayor Joe Hogsett declared a local disaster emergency, limiting non-essential travel and closing bars, entertainment venues, and certain businesses like gyms and movie theaters starting today. The executive order coincides with Governor Holcomb's directives, canceling any gatherings with more than 50 people. But the mayor's office says there will be no enforcement actions associated with the travel advisory, only advising people minimize travel except to and from work, in emergency situations, or to buy groceries and pick up food and prescriptions. When asked during Monday's press conference, the governor would not answer whether the state would be initiating penalties either if people don't abide by the restrictions, saying he understands restaurants and businesses will experience, quote, extreme hardship, but the guidelines help stop the spread of the virus. Owner of Iria's on College Avenue says he's concerned about his employees. Indy's independent restaurants sending the mayor this letter asking he institute emergency unemployment benefits for all hourly and salaried employees furloughed during this crisis, among other things, to protect businesses and their employees.
So we probably employ about 25 between kitchen, bussers, and servers, and we're just going to try to offer the best that we can. We're going to start with the people that depend on this as their main income.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And restaurants are taking their concerns to the mayor tonight. They plan to meet with Mayor Hogsett this evening. We will be there and report back of what comes out of that meeting tonight at 11. And the city of Indianapolis is making special carry-out only parking accommodations for restaurants impacted by the COVID-19 restrictions. Since these restaurants can now only do carry-out, the city will designate up to 2 parking meter spaces in front of any restaurant that requests carry-out parking only signs.
COVID-19 is prompting some states like Kentucky to order all daycares to close. That hasn't happened yet in Indiana, but many child care providers in our state are worried if their business will survive. RTV6's Kara Kenny joins us now with how they're staying afloat.
Many Hoosier workers are being forced to stay home, but for many child care providers, their home is their business and they're struggling. Jamma Carson has been in the daycare business for nearly 30 years. She loves her job and now runs Little Squirts Home Daycare near 71st and Binford. But times are tough. Many parents are pulling their kids out because they're not working right now. Thankfully, Jamma says most have offered to still pay her in the meantime. But Jamma is still worried about being able to keep her doors open, either because of a government shutdown or because of the impact on the workforce. Are you concerned that you could be ordered to shut down?
Yeah, I am. If I am, I will shut down. Hopefully my parents can stay loyal to me as long as they can, if they are still working. If they are not working, I don't expect them to pay me in full, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm concerned. I have a big mortgage, and bills to pay.
Jamma gets texts daily from the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration updating her, including encouraging good cleaning and hygiene. FSSA says childcare should remain open and accept children unless a positive case of COVID-19 is identified within the childcare. Kara Kenny, RTV6.
FSSA also wants to remind people you need a license if you're caring for more than 5 children that are not related to you. If you don't have a license and have more than 5 kids, then you could be operating illegally. You can find licensed care at childcarefinder.in.gov. It has been a real struggle for supermarket workers to keep their store shelves stocked. This is how the aisles look more often than not. And it seems as soon as a shipment is put out on the floor, shoppers have cleared the shelves minutes later. Working for you, RTV6's Troy Washington visited grocery stores today to see how managers are keeping up with the demand.
Meyer got a shipment of goods this morning, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, nothing seems to stay stocked up at any grocery store.
There's nothing in there, so I don't necessarily know what to do.
RTV6 caught up with Ison Hinton leaving the grocery store. We asked her what she had on her list and if she found any of it.
Toilet paper, but there wasn't any, and eggs, but there wasn't any, and ground beef, but there wasn't any.
Like many others, she's having to make do with whatever is left behind in stores as the coronavirus restrictions keep rolling in. Restaurants are closing and people are staying indoors.
I just kind of got some stuff that I could feed my son for lunch and stuff since he's home. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Some stores have even started limiting hours just to give themselves more time to get ready for customers before opening their doors, since the demand for food and supplies has gone up a notch because of the virus.
We're just trying to keep everything clean over there.
Joy Stratton works at a convenience store. She came across to Meyer to grab gloves and more sanitizer wipes.
Gas is seen as an essential, so we got to keep it up and running in case people have places they need to be in order to get their own supplies.
That means taking the proper precautions in the process of serving others. Stratton made sure to remind RTV6 that grocery stores aren't the only ones struggling to stay stocked. People are looking high and low for needs, and that includes convenience stores.
We do have toilet paper, but that actually got bought out pretty quick.
Working for you on the Northwest Side, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Well, stores like Dollar General have shifted their first hour of operation to be dedicated to senior customers in an effort to give them a chance to shop first away from the crowds.
And a big announcement today impacting tens of thousands of Catholics in the entire state. All 5 bishops in Indiana are suspending all public Sunday and weekday masses starting tomorrow until further notice. They are following recommendations from health officials to help stem the spread of COVID-19. Decisions about Holy Week and beyond will be made in the coming days. In the meantime, parishes that have the ability to broadcast their masses online are asked to do so. Indianapolis Archbishop Charles Thompson and some priests on his staff will be making online masses available soon. Go to archindy.org for more info. And the general manager of Washington Square Mall tells RTV6 the mall is closing to shoppers due to the coronavirus outbreak. General manager Keith Lee says that closure will take effect tomorrow. It comes after the state and the city of Indianapolis took steps to limit large gatherings in adherence with CDC guidelines.
Ahead at 5:30 on the Now Indy, finding another use for empty yellow school buses. Drivers and school staffers are filling up buses with meals and making the rounds. We tag along to see how this effort is making a true difference for families.
And it's been 20 years and 6 Super Bowl wins, but now Tom Brady is saying goodbye to Pats Nation.
How about that sunshine out there right now, but it will be replaced by rain and thunderstorms. I'll talk about a severe weather threat as well, when that's most likely coming up.
Recommend them to anybody.
Another wild ride on Wall Street a day after the Dow's worst single-day drop since 1987. It regained nearly a third of yesterday's losses, closing up a little more than 1,000 points. This comes as the president announced new measures today to help the economy recover from the pandemic. ABC's Inez de la Catera is in Washington with more on those unprecedented steps.
As the coronavirus outbreak slowly shuts down parts of the nation, the White House says it's considering sending checks directly to American households that are hurting, possibly in the next 2 weeks.
Something that gets money to them as quickly as possible.
Coronavirus projections have shaken Wall Street investors. However, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin insists they do plan to keep the markets open.
Americans should know that we are going to do everything to make sure that they have access to their money at their banks, to the money in their 401ks, and to the money in stocks.
The food and beverage industry reeling as many states and cities shutter bars and restaurants. And the airline industry also taking a big hit.
This is worse than 9/11. For the airline industry, this is, they are almost ground to a halt.
The president also working out a stimulus plan, asking Congress for more than $850 billion, something we haven't seen since the Great Recession. That plan would include $500 billion in a payroll tax cut, $50 billion for the airline industry, and $250 billion for small business loans.
We're going big, and that's where Mitch McConnell, that's the way he wants to go. That's the way I want to go. I think we want to get it done and have a big infusion as opposed to going through little meetings every couple of days.
The Senate today taking up another $8.5 billion relief bill that passed the House last week.
The Senate will not adjourn until we have passed significant and bold new steps.
The president says he doesn't expect things to go back to normal until July or August. And New York's governor is now announcing that all student and medical debt owed to the state will be halted for 30 days. Inez de la Catera, ABC News, Washington.
Big changes to a May event to our south due to the coronavirus. Churchill Downs is postponing the Kentucky Derby from May to September. Track officials say it will move from May 2nd to September 5th. This will mark the first time in 75 years that the race won't be run on the first Saturday in May. The last time was 1945 when the federal government banned horse racing because of World War II. And a huge Indiana event popular with women all over the country also won't take place as scheduled. The annual Vera Bradley Outlet Sale in Fort Wayne is being pushed from next month to April 2021 due to coronavirus concerns. The new dates for the sale are April 7th through 11th, 2021.
Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast, and hopefully you've enjoyed our dry St. Patrick's Day because Kevin says that's about to change, right?
Rain on the way, and it could be a lot of it, Mark, once it gets started tomorrow afternoon. afternoon and rolls through Friday morning. But living in the moment, that's nice to see, isn't it? Sunshine is always welcome, because once we get through this evening, maybe a glimmer of sunshine in the morning, it won't be back until Saturday. Let's talk about the big picture. Our temperatures are going to balloon into the upper 60s. The warmest temperature will come Thursday. The key to the strength of thunderstorms will be if we see any sunshine or a break in the rain to let temperatures warm even more. That could increase the severe storm threat. It'll be conditional on what happens during the day Thursday. Stay tuned. 55 tomorrow, rain. Then temperatures hit their peak on the Thursday and start to fall as we get to Friday. Rain chances about 90%, maybe a little higher. You don't guarantee anything in the weather world, but that's as close to a guarantee that you'll have rain as we move toward the end of the week. Just want to show you, this is for Thursday. I think we'll have afternoon and then nighttime thunderstorms on Thursday. Greatest risk now appears to be to our southwest, but again, this is something we'll keep our eye on. Anytime we have the threat of overnight severe weather, you need a way to be alerted. The Storm Shield app is free, acts as a weather radio, and would wake you up upon warnings. Just to show you where the axis of heaviest rain will set up is still not known, but it just has a lot of moisture to work with. There will be spots, I think, where the heaviest rain falls that'll see 2 to 3 inches of rain by the time we get to mid-morning on Friday. Right now, we're living with sunshine and temperatures in the 50s. It's comfortable. 56 in Bedford, 52 in the metro area. Hello, Ivy. That says it all. She is ready to go. Ray and Rhonda Hayes send in this picture.
She's smiling with her eyes.
She's got energy. You can just see it. Temperatures stay in the 40s through the evening, but barely. Have a good evening, Ivy. 41 at 11 o'clock tonight. Rain chances tomorrow ramp up quickly, and rain likely during the afternoon hours tomorrow. Temperatures start in the upper 30s, mid-40s lunchtime, mid-50s for that afternoon high temperature. And as we mentioned, the rain, once it moves in, starting there Wednesday afternoon, we'll see periods of rain and thunderstorms right on through Friday morning. Once Friday's rain ends, it's about cooler temperatures, but more sunshine for the weekend. Temperature 39 Saturday, 44 with sunshine on Sunday.
Kevin, thank you. The Colts making another huge move this afternoon. ESPN is reporting that Indy is signing veteran quarterback Phillip Rivers to a one-year deal. Rivers played 16 seasons for the Charger his entire pro career. 59,000 yards passing in his career. He's also 38 years old. Multiple sources says that the deal is worth $25 million. More big NFL news today. Tom Brady announced on Instagram he's leaving the Patriots after 20 years and 6 Super Bowl titles. At 42 years old, he's a free agent for the first time in his career. He officially hits the league's open market tomorrow.
Next, getting some insight from a woman who is stepping away from Congress. Representative Susan Brooks weighs in on the coronavirus and the 5 things she wants to see happen in D.C. and here at home.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
Today, retiring Republican Indiana Congresswoman Susan Brooks stopped by the RTV6 studios to discuss the coronavirus and its impact on our lives. Our Rafael Sanchez asked her to name the 5 things she hopes the next Congress, mayors, governors will take on, because we've all dealt with this.
I do think paid leave, we have been talking about it, but I think this is going to accelerate that. We have to do more relative to child care. Okay? We are not prepared right now for dealing with the child care situations. We need more groups to step up and provide child care, primarily for healthcare workers, families, and for those who must go to work. And so we have to find out an emergency on that. We have to do a better job on our medical supply chain, bringing the production of masks, gloves, and personal protective gear back from China. We offshored that in the 60s and 70s to China. We need to bring that medical supply chain back. We need to think about public health as national security, because we have to realize that what happens, whether it's in China, whether it's in Africa, other parts of the globe, can happen here in this country or can come to this country. And so when we have our federal aid through our State Department going to other countries, we ought to be focusing on their medical readiness in those countries. And I think the other thing This is very simple, but people are going to have to learn to be more prepared and not to panic.
And in terms of being prepared, Brooks suggested we all take a look at a FEMA website called ready.gov. Again, that's ready.gov. It lists the things we should have to be prepared for any type of disaster, whether it be a tornado, a pandemic, or some other type of natural or man-made disaster.
And we can't say this enough. The experts say washing your hands is preventing the spread of the coronavirus. You should wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. They say that's about the amount of time it takes to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. You should wet your hands first before applying the soap. If soap and water are not available, hand sanitizer is the next best thing, but it must contain at least 60% alcohol. And also try to stay at least 6 feet away from others. So what's the difference between coronavirus, the cold, and the flu? This chart from the Cleveland Clinic and CDC sums it up. With coronavirus, you could have a sore throat, cough, fever, body aches, and tiredness. With a cold, you usually won't have a fever. And the flu, you will have all of the same symptoms as coronavirus, except headaches and sneezing are often common with the flu. You don't typically find that in coronavirus. And with so much information out there, we want to help you and your family navigate coronavirus. Everything you need to know is now in one place, including all the event cancellations, postponements, and school closings. Just go to theindychannel.com.
All new at 6 o'clock here on RTV6. Local restaurants are shutting down dining rooms because of the coronavirus. How the owner of one popular eatery plans to help his employees through this tough time.
But first on the Now Indy, the mayor helping to fill a growing need you might not have thought of due to the coronavirus outbreak. You're watching RTV6.